Welcome friends. Let us continue to study steam generation on my YouTube channel. Kindly like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. The topic included in today's lecture is throttling calorimeter. As we know that throttling calorimeter works on the fundamental of throttling process. That means throttling of wet steam, decrease in pressure at constant enthalpy. So let us study what is throttling process first. Let us say there is a steam pipe and one orifice is there. So high pressure steam is passing through the orifice and it becomes low pressure steam. So that is known as the throttling process. This process is known as free expansion process. Enthalpy of steam remains constant, and during this time, so whenever the high pressure steam is converted into low pressure steam, during that time enthalpy of steam remains constant. Now let us study specific enthalpy of steam before throttling, that is equals to specific enthalpy of steam after throttling. So whatever the enthalpy of steam before throttling is there, the same enthalpy it will have after throttling. Pressure may be less. So enthalpy before throttling H1 is equals to enthalpy before after throttling, that is H2. So that can be the three cases. What are the three cases? Initial condition of steam is wet and final condition is dry and saturated steam. So it can happen that whatever the steam is entering into the orifice, it can be wet, but after that it becomes dry and saturated. Initial condition of steam is wet and final condition is superheated. So the wet steam can be converted into superheated steam. And third one, initial condition of steam is wet and final condition is also wet. So wet steam remains wet steam after throttling process. Now let we have considered that initial condition is wet in all three cases, because we are interested to calculate the dryness fraction of steam. It means we are entering the wet steam only and we want to know the X for the wet steam. So we consider that initial condition of steam is wet, and due to the throttling process, due to the condition that specific enthalpy remains constant before and after throttling, there can be three cases. Wet steam can be converted into dry steam, wet steam can be converted into superheated steam, and wet steam remains wet steam. Let us see how it takes place. So that is a throttling process. Yes, what is this curve? If you remember, yes, this curve is known as the saturation curve. This part is known as the saturated liquid. This part is known as the saturated vapor or saturated steam. In between part is known as the wet steam region. Right hand side is the superheated steam, and this left hand side portion is unsaturated liquid. I think that already we have studied in the previous lectures. So that is the, you can say, saturation curve. And what is this point at top? Anybody remembers? Yes, it is the critical point. So it is a liquid line, the dry steam line. This is the critical point. Now consider, when we enter the steam into the throttling process, it is wet. So when, again at this place or at this place. Clear? Now it passes through the orifice, and due to that it is a throttling process, and during throttling process the enthalpy remains constant. So if it is an enthalpy constant process, what will be the nature of line? Whether it is horizontal line, whether it is vertical line, or whether it is inclined line, or whether it is a curve. Can you see? Because this is a graph of temperature versus specific enthalpy. Yes, it will be vertical line because it is a specific enthalpy on x-axis. So constant enthalpy means it is a vertical line. At all 3.111, the steam is wet because it is internal to the liquid line and the dry steam line. Right? Now let us see what happens to the 1. At state 1, pressure is P1, enthalpy is H1. Now you see, when the throttling process takes place, right? So it is 1, 2, 2. So it reaches to the point number 2. And at point number 2, what is that? It is superheated steam. So the wet steam is converted into superheated steam. Then next, at state 2, P2 is pressure is P2 and enthalpy is H2 and it is superheated steam. H1 is H2. So H1 wet is equals to H2 superheated steam. Now let us see. If the steam is at this point and it passes through the throttling process, it will reach to the point number 2. So for that, what will be there? H1 is wet and H2 is dry because the 2 point is on the line. So it is H2 dry. So it is, in this case, wet steam converted into dry steam. And third case, point number 2 is inside the saturation curve. It means at point 2 steam is wet. So wet remained wet after throttling process. So that is how, due to the throttling process, wet can convert into superheated, or second case, wet can convert into dry, or third case, wet can remain wet. And this is not possible for measurement of dryness fraction because both the time, that is point number 1 and point number 2, there may be some dryness fraction. So this fundamental, or if the wet steam remains wet, we cannot measure the dryness fraction using throttling process. So if you want to measure the dryness fraction using throttling process, it is fixed that wet should convert either in superheated or wet steam should convert into dry. But if wet steam remains wet, we cannot measure the dryness fraction of wet steam. So initial condition of steam is wet, final is dry steam. So in this case, what will happen? Initially pressure is P1, finally pressure is P2. Initially it is wet, finally it is dry. So what is the equation? H1 plus X into HFG1, that is for H wet. And HF1 and HFG1 should be calculated or should be taken from the steam table at what pressure? At pressure P1, or that is high pressure. And at pressure P2, H dry is Hg2. So Hg again can be taken from the steam table, but using which pressure? Pressure P2, which is less pressure. And then X can be calculated using this equation. X is equals to Hg2 minus Hf1 divided by Hfg1. So that is you can calculate the X for the case 1, that is wet is converted into dry saturated steam. If it is case 2, that is initial wet steam is converted into superheated steam. That is final temperature of steam is T2 and it is more than saturation temperature. So we say it is T sup. So we can say initial pressure P1 which is more, final pressure is P2 which is less, initial enthalpy is H wet, final enthalpy is H sup because it is superheated steam. So what is the equation of H wet? Hf1 plus X into Hfg1. From where we will get Hf1 and Hfg1? Yes, at the pressure P1 from steam table. What is the equation for H sup? Hg2 plus Cp of steam T2 minus Ts2. Now Hg2 and Ts2 that we can get from the steam table at pressure P2. And Cp of steam is constant, that is 2.1. So using this equation we can calculate X. So that is the equation to calculate the X for the case 2 where wet is converted into superheated. And if wet remains wet, it means initially pressure P1, finally pressure P2. Both the time enthalpy is wet. What is the equation? Hf1 plus X Hfg1, Hf2 plus X2 Hfg2. Here X1 and X and X2 are not known to us. So we cannot calculate two parameters using one equation, and so this is not possible. So that is the throttling process, and it can be denoted as like this. So that is what is the throttling valve. So whenever we have to draw the throttling process in a graph, then we can draw like this. Now let us study the throttling calorimeter and the construction of the throttling calorimeter. There is a steam pipe, valve is there, throttle valve is provided, pressure gauge is provided which measures the pressure before throttling because throttle valve is here. So this pressure gauge will measure the pressure before throttling, or it is P1. At the end of the throttle valve, one vessel is connected, and that vessel is having thermometer which measures the temperature after throttling. And with that vessel, U-tube manometer is provided. So what is the function of U-tube manometer? Yes, U-tube manometer measures the pressure after throttling process. So this thermometer and U-tube manometer measures the temperature and pressure after throttling process. So it is a U-tube manometer. It measures P2, that is pressure after throttling. Clear? Now working. Let us open the valve. As we open the valve, the steam will enter and it will show us some pressure. And that pressure is known as the P1, or pressure before throttling. Then that steam passes through the throttle valve. It means the steam has passed through the throttling process. Due to that, its pressure reduces, but enthalpy remains constant. So that reduced pressure steam enters into the vessel. And using this thermometer, we can measure the temperature of steam after throttling, that is T2, and we can measure the pressure after throttling using this U-tube manometer, that is P2, that is pressure after throttling. And steam is exited from the bottom. So again, we know that specific enthalpy before throttling is equals to specific enthalpy after throttling. So enthalpy before throttling H1 is equals to enthalpy after throttling H2. There can be the case 1, as we have studied in the throttling process, wet initially, finally dry. If wet initially, finally superheated, and wet initially converted into wet. Now let us take the case 1, wet converted into dry steam. Equation we have already studied. H wet becomes H dry. So the equation is HF1 plus X into HFG1 is equals to HG2. Please make sure that HFG2 is taken from the pressure P2, that is low pressure, and HF1 and HFG1 is taken from the steam table at pressure P1, which is high pressure. And then we can calculate the X for the case 1. Case 2, initially wet converted into superheated, and final temperature of steam is T sup, that we have measured using the thermometer in the equipment. So initially H wet is equals to H sup. Initial pressure is P1, that is high pressure. Final pressure is P2, which is low pressure. Let us write the equation. HF1 plus X into HFG1 is equals to Hg2 plus Cp of steam T2 minus Tset2. Please understand, HF1 and HFG1 should be taken from the steam table at high pressure. Hg2 and Tset2 is to be taken from the steam table at low pressure, P2. And using this equation, we can calculate the X. Now, if wet remains wet, we cannot calculate the dryness fraction. Limitation. When wet steam is less dry, it means having less value of dryness fraction, that is X is less than 0.9, or more moisture is present in the wet steam remains wet after throttling, and dryness fraction of wet steam cannot be evaluated. So if we want to use the throttling calorimeter, we require that the moisture content is very less. Then and then we can calculate the dryness fraction using throttling calorimeter. This method cannot be employed when steam has more water content. Thank you.